Now this one is going to be smaller. It's going to be another creamer. It's going to be smaller, and it's going to have a different kind of pouring spot. I don't know what else to call it. It's going to have kind of a gallery, but then you're going to be able to pour over the gallery, and you'll be able to put a lid on this one and stick it in the refrigerator without having to empty it. Because I got to thinking, when you pour milk or cream into a creamer and then you put it on the table or wherever people use it, and then you don't use all of it, you're going to want to refrigerate it, but instead of having to pour it all back into the carton or jug or whatever it was in, you can just put a little lid on it and save it to the next time. I kind of like the idea of that. So I'm going to see if I can throw this particular kind of I guess gallery so that this can happen. Okay, so it's going to be kind of narrow, and we still have to compress the bottoms, even if they're small. Now, when I was doing the research on this one and found this one, the technique, I think, was used, it said it was used in East Texas, and I think that I have seen where there's crockery that comes from Texas in some place, and I think I have seen the name Marshall, and I think there's a place called Marshall, I'm not sure, but this I don't know if the place is in East Texas or not either. I honestly don't know. Maybe some of you know and can put it in the comments. Okay, I got the bottom pretty well compressed. I'm just going to push the wall out a little more down there. It's itty bitty. I'm going to leave some thickness at the top because I got to make a weird kind of thing at the top. Whoa, that got wacky. Okay. Okay, slow down. All right, now let's make sure my walls are pretty good and even. So I like that's pretty even. All right, now let's try this again, only I'm going to attach it to a hemostat so it doesn't start flopping around in there. Sometimes I use a hemostat on my sponge to keep from having to hang on to it with 2 fingers. Anyway, that works pretty good. Okay, now on the rim, let's color it in just a bit because I think the one I saw was just straight up and down. I guess after I learn how to do this, I can get kind of fancy if I want to. So it's going to have a gallery, but on the outside of the gallery, I'm going to be able to pour with a little spout. Okay. Let's see if I can do this then. Now let's actually flatten that out a bit. Okay. So alrighty, now let me see about something. Let's see if I can smooth this up a little bit right in there. All right. So I'm going to turn it in, and then let's see, is that going to work? So it needs to have a little bit of a thing there. Let me try doing it with this. Now I'm just using wooden sticks on this so far because I don't know. Sorry guys, my battery, actually my card got full when I was throwing this. And so I didn't realize it, but I couldn't stop. So, and I am going to throw another one, only bigger. This one, I wanted it to be small, but it did turn out kind of small. But I wanted to show you this. So this was the thing that this is what's different about this. The ring around here is where the lid is going to rest. It's kind of slanted like a regular gallery. This deal around here, where the spout is what's different about this one. And I may have this little trough right here where you can see the dark shadow, the deep shadow. That may be too deep on this, and so I may, when I throw another one a little bit bigger, I may change that a little bit. But you get the idea where the spout is on the outside rim, and now you'll be able to put I'm about to make a lid. I've got a little piece of clay here that I'm going to make a lid with. And it's going to rest inside there. So we'll see how this works out. Now, I already had this measured yesterday when I threw the little pot, and that's not quite wide enough. So this shouldn't take long because it's tiny. Okay, so I'm leaving enough for a a little knob there. Now let's check for the width. That is good. I'm now on this, the width, I've just made it ever so slightly, and I may make it just a little bit wider now because I'm going to turn up the edge just a little bit, and that'll take up some of the width. I might just use my throwing knife here, this clay knife or whatever you call this thing. This has a longer angle on it. This has a little bit longer point, so it isn't as steep, immediately steep, that is. Okay, let's see how far in I'm going. Okay, that's about that far under it. And it doesn't need to be very far because that gallery is only about quarter of an inch or something. Okay, that's about 3/8 of an inch. So I think that's far enough to get a nice little thing that will sit down on that gallery. So I'm gonna clean it up slightly. So we're gonna leave it like that. There's the lid, and I can clean that up a little bit more after it sets up. So that should fit it. So let's measure it now and see what kind of width we have. That is going to be perfect. Can you see? So when I wipe the edge of it with a sponge after it sits up for a while, that is going to be absolutely perfect. So all we want is a little lid to sit right down into this little area here. So I think that that's going to work. Okay, here's the second one, and let me tilt this up. This is the gallery, but it's not like the other one. I'm going to try something different. I left enough of a ridge on the outside of this that I think that I'm going to be able to make a spout with that without disturbing the place where the little lid might fit. So you get to watch me either screw it up or do something different. Okay, so very gently I'm gonna do this spout thing, and then let's got a piece of something there. And if this doesn't work, which I think it will, well, it's not bad even just like that, but I need to make the little thing. So after I do the spout, let me finish that before I start jabbering too much. Make it go round and round, and I'll just make sure my gallery is still good. Get my fingers wet a little bit. It's still very humid here right now because we've had quite a bit of rain. Okay, my gallery is good. So I measured for my lid. It's gonna go right inside here, maybe right there. So there's my measurement for my lid, and I'm gonna go ahead and make that. I need to go do some continuing education on at the election board. Only I'm gonna do it online because that way I don't have to go to the election board. But I work elections when we have them, and primaries coming up around here. They're going to start in June. Different places in the United States have their primaries at different times, so don't just assume that that's for you wherever you are. You need to check that. And I'll tell you something, if you've had a change of address since the big mess up on the last election, the presidential one, a lot of election boards have been purging their rolls of people who haven't voted in the last 5 years or something like that, but mistakes happen. So if you have had a change of name or a change of address, you probably need to make sure that your voter ID is still valid in the precinct you live in, or that you get a new one and follow up. Don't just send that application in there to vote and expect and just forget about it, because I mean, I worked there and I didn't follow up on mine, and the address label got partially torn off, and the post office returned it to the election board. So if you've had a change of address, they will not forward of anything that comes from the election board. So you got to remember it, and you have to follow up on it, because everybody needs to have a valid, usable, proper ID so that they can do their exercise their franchise of voting when it happens. So anyway, just a word to the wise. All right, so let's see what kind of slant we have on this. That's just got a slight, whoa, I nearly, that thing tossed it across the room. Anyway, there's a slight slant on that gallery ledge, and so I'll see about, it'll be kind of the same way we did for the little gallery, for the little lid on the one I just made. This one's a little beefier than the other one, the walls and everything. Whoa, that one's gonna be, that one needs to be, just see where I'm touching it. I'm only touching it on this side. If I touch it on this side, it'll fly up and hit me in the face. But it needs to be a little narrower. That is just about perfect. Just about perfect. Now let me look at it from an angle, and I'll see what kind of slant I've got on the underside of it. Okay, not bad. So let's see, that is about half an inch. Let me get the other one, because I may need to use that again. Whoa. Did you ever fall off your stool in the pottery? It's embarrassing. Not too bad if you're in there by yourself, but you know, if anybody sees you. Okay. So I'm looking at the measurement on this of the inside. Now I want to compare it to what's going on with the part of this that's touching. Okay, I think that'll work. So the part of this that is touching the bat, where it's still a little wider than the rest of it, it needs to be narrow enough to fit inside the gallery. You know what I mean? And I almost forgot. I want to show you the other two. This one has got a loopy handle, and if you'll notice, this kind of forms the shape of this, and then this kind of form the shape of a heart. I think that's very sweet. So there's a little picture. These are, I'm trying to find the form that I like, and I'm going to make a bunch of them when I figure it out which one I like. So here's one. I think this is one of the first ones that I made. But anyway, I want to show you those. Aren't they cute? They be so cute. So there's my little heart thingy, and then there's that one, and then there's the cutie pie over here. This little cute thing. And I can't tilt this because the lid might fall off, but it's precious. And there is how that, there's a close up on how that gallery is built. So, ta-da. Okay, everybody. I'll see you soon. Love you.